What's up, guys? I'm gonna give you guys a little tutorial again about running techniques. All right, guys, first things first, if you ask any coach or you read a bunch of articles about running, what the proper form of running should be, you're gonna get a bunch of different responses, you're gonna get a bunch of different answers based on so many different things, right? Based on, are you flat-footed? What muscles are tight in your lower body, right? If your ankles are tight, if your calves are tight, if you have tight muscles around your knee joint, all this is gonna affect your running technique. It's gonna affect the types of different pains that you feel when you run. Rule of thumb, when it always comes to fitness, is listen to your body. Your body's always gonna tell you exactly what you need to know. Your body's gonna tell you when to speed up, when to slow down, when to stop completely. Listen to the cues, listen to your body, all right? Every little ache, every little tightness is your body's way of saying, slow down, we need to fix this before we move forward, all right? Of course, you're always gonna do your stretches and maybe some foam rolling, definitely some foam rolling before every run. What that does is it's just gonna loosen up your muscles, it's gonna get a lot of blood flowing into the muscles so that we can get, with that blood, you get a lot of oxygenated blood in there so that you don't cramp up as much. And it's just a really great way to circulate blood from the lower extremities all the way back up to the heart, all right? So, running technique, again, if you ask different people, you'll get a bunch of different answers, right? Rule of thumb, when I run, I am flat-footed, so first of all, you need to figure out what kind of shoes, what kind of sneakers to buy, all right? If you're more flat-footed, you want a flat surface. If you have a high arch, you want something that gives you a high arch support. So that's first and foremost. Once you figure that out, say you're running 2, 3, 4 miles, whatever you run, right? I think it's extremely important to start with that first mile as an assessment mile. Slow jog, assess how you feel, assess what's tight. After that first mile, you'll know if your hip flexors are tight, if you need to stop and stretch it, if your calf muscles are tight, if you need to roll it, right? If your ankles are tight, if you need to stretch it out, all right? I'll do a video about how to stretch all that as well soon. But first mile, slow jog. When you're doing a slow jog, it's all about heel flat, heel flat. So you don't really need to run your toes unless you're sprinting, which I'll show you in a second. But heel flat, heel flat. It's a great way to absorb shock so that the shock doesn't go directly to the knee or to the hip, right? So you're kind of landing on your heel and then going flat on the foot, making sure that the shock is absorbed through the calves and then on the way up, but making sure that you're bending your knees enough as well. So pay attention to my heels as I go. Nice little jog here. Right? About 5, 6 speed. Heel flat, heel flat, heel flat. Right? I'll do this for 1 mile. And again, you'll feel if your hip flexors are tight, you'll feel a little cramping here, a little tightness here in the hip flexors. If your calves, which is super common, if your calves are tight, you'll feel some cramping in the calves a little bit. Stop and stretch that out, because if you continue, it's gonna force you to stop later on. Either stop and assess now, or be forced to stop and take care of it later on. Right, so first mile, I always use that as my assessment mile, warming up as well after I do my little stretching and rolling as well. Heel toe, heel flat, heel flat, heel flat. And that's my warm-up jog. After my first mile, I'll do a little bit of walking for like maybe a minute or two and just feel it out. Feel how the hips feel how the calves feel how the ankles feel. Once those feeling okay, it's nice and warmed up, I'm gonna finish up with more of a sprint. I don't run a lot. I'll run maybe 3 miles, maybe 4 miles tops, because again, I do about 2 or 3 times a week, high cardio, different types of cardio, but whether I'm running, whether I'm doing sled pushes, whether I'm playing football, whatever it is, it's interval training. I wanna get my heart rate up and then let it drop again, right? High intensity interval training. Pushing yourself, getting your heart and lungs to activate to the max that you can, and then slowing it down a little bit, letting it recover, all right? And that's all you need to burn immense amounts of fat without burning muscle, all right? We never wanna burn muscle unless you're a long distance runner, or unless you just wanna be extremely, extremely lean, you know, then you can just run as long as you want. But again, I'm sure if you ask any long distance runner or someone that's been running for a very long time, 9 out of 10 times they're gonna tell you they have some type of hip or some type of knee problem, because it's just over time, the pounding and the shock on the knees and the hips, it's just overdoing it, and you're just gonna run into problems and injuries later on. It's just inevitable, right? Every athlete gets injured. It's about how you take care of yourself and how you recover through physical therapy, or what's called pre-therapy, which is just working out, keeping your muscles loose, keeping your muscles warm, keeping your muscles strong. So just your everyday lifestyle of staying healthy, keeping your body healthy, all right? Jumping into the sprint, we're gonna go to about a 10 or 11 here, and it's gonna be more about the balls of your feet, exploding off the balls of the feet, building momentum. Your arms have a huge role to play as well, so you want your arms to come up high, building momentum, building stride, working on the gauge, right? Heel to the butt, right? So pay attention, look at my heel, look at my butt, look at the balls of my feet. That's a 12. Let's get 11, here we go. Then we slow it down. Always taking deep breaths. You want to get that heart rate to drop. Allowing as much oxygen to get in there as possible. More deep breaths you take, more oxygen you get in, faster your recovery. Right? Getting more oxygenated blood into the system. And that's your sprinting technique. I would say anything, if you're running on the treadmill or if you're tracking your speed, anything above 7, I think it's safe to do that, being on the balls of your feet. All right, guys, most importantly, always pay attention to your cues that your body's giving you. If you feel something might not be right, stop and assess it and take care of it. You're either going to need to take care of it immediately, or weeks or months later on, you're going to need to get physical therapy for it. Listen to your body, listen to the cues. It's going to tell you everything you need to know about, are you ready to push forward, or do you need to slow down a little bit and assess what's wrong? All right, guys, little basic running technique 101. Apply it next time you jog. Make sure you warm up before every run though. All right, guys, hope to see you guys soon. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Enjoy. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.